My name is Michael LADDEN. After visiting over 120 countries on 5 continents, I made the bold decision to sell all of my possessions and become a full-time nomad more than 4 years ago. Currently, I am traveling in my self-built ex-Army Overland Expedition truck, complete with a KTM motorbike, bicycles, kayak, a one-wheel, and all the essentials needed to explore this incredible planet we call home. Join me as I share my adventures and stories from around the world. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode number 20 of building the ultimate overland expedition rig. And today I'm going to talk about probably my favorite part of this overland expedition truck, the garage. Not only am I going to talk about the garage itself, why I built it, what's in it, and how it makes this truck the ultimate overland expedition vehicle. All right, guys, let's get right into talking about the garage. It's a little windy out today, so I'm going to do this video a tad different than I usually do, and I'm going to talk over the video rather than you guys looking at me. You can look at all the components that make up this super cool garage at the back of my Overland Expedition rig. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the main reason for building the garage, and that was, of course, to house my motorcycle. And just like any other garage, it obviously has space to store, well, the things that you might find in any typical garage. But most importantly, it houses 2 of my main component groups. 1, the electric system, and 2, the water system. So I'm going to take you kind of through the overview of those 2 things. Let's start with the electric system. As you can probably tell from this back wall, it has miles and miles of cable and electric wire. You can see I have a 3,000 watt Go Power inverter that controls all of my AC current that goes to the truck. And I have 4 30 amp MPPT solar controllers. Now these send all the power from my rooftop down to the battery system. There is 2,000 watts of solar on the roof. The batteries are Dakota lithium, and they provide 1,000 amp hours of reserve. A general rule of thumb when building out a system is to go with the 2-to-1 principle. So if you've got 2,000 watts of solar on the roof, you should have 1,000 amp hours of battery reserve. Another thing you're going to notice here is the gauge of my wire. Make sure that you have a nice beefy gauge. Otherwise, you're going to get a voltage drop at the charge controllers. Here's a view of the Dakota lithium batteries. There are actually 5 of them. They're 200 amp hours apiece, totaling the 1,000 amp hours. Here you can see the AC circuit breaker panel. I've basically divided that into about 5 circuits. I don't use a ton of AC. Here are my Garmin power switches. These control all of the lighting on board my truck. And you'll notice all this electronic stuff is mounted on one wall. Here are the controllers for the Dometic powered awnings. And of course, my router for Starlink. What would I do without Starlink on board? Internet 365 days a year. There's outlets here you can see in the back. So everything that you want to find in a garage. Now, the water system starts with this, a 175 gallon fresh water tank. And that is huge because it extends the amount of time that I can stay off grid. Generally, it's 3 things that keep you off grid longer. It's water, power, and your ability to store food, i.e. power for refrigeration. You can see I used PEX piping for the water system. The pump here is a 4 gallon per minute unit along with an expansion tank. And here is the hot water heater, which works great. It's instant hot, so there's no tank to continually heating water and using power. This runs off of propane. In addition, I have shore power hookups if you need them. If I was at a campground or a house, a 30 amp electric, and here's your input for the water system as well. I found on my inside shower, if I take sort of what I would call a military shower, without shutting the water on and off, I can take a 4 to 5 minute shower and use about the same 4 or 5 gallons of water. So you can imagine with a 175 gallon water tank, I can stay quite some time, even taking a shower every single day. You can see in the ceiling I have a Max Air vent fan, as well as I have a kind of a cute little porthole window here. You can kind of take a peek in there and see inside my kitchen. I use that because it's over my bed and I can look out the rear. I jazzed up the ceiling with some faux tin tiles, put ample amounts of light in the garage, which is what you would expect even from a home garage. You can see I retained the original Army military doors, which are sort of kind of really cool actually. They've got a window, which I mentioned before, I can see through from my porthole from the bed. Nice little place here to put my patches and whatnot, and plenty of little carabiners and things to hang all my stuff. I keep my motorcycle gear, my boots and my jacket and my pants and all that. Plenty of room for things to store in netting. My helmet for the motorcycle hangs nicely on the wall. And in general, I just wanted everything that was accessible to what I'm doing and a quick grab from the garage. There's little storage cubbies alongside the water tank, and this is kind of where I keep, things that I don't need to get to that frequently, as well as on the other side of the water tank is where I keep like my cornhole boards and my spare tires for my bicycles and whatnot. This is what the garage looks like, all closed up with the rear doors and the roll-up door on the side where the motorcycle comes in, all closed. You can see most of everything is loaded on board with the exception of my motorcycle and bicycles. And as I mentioned before, it is super bright in here, so I can always see what I'm looking for. This is a rear vent in the door, courtesy of the military. And the little window even has a little slide that you can open and close it if you don't want anybody to see in. The rear van doors, the double doors, have a 3-point latch and locking system, so that makes everything super secure as well. So let's get to why I made the garage in the first place. The motorcycle and the motorcycle lifting system, courtesy of Neodyne, a company out of the Netherlands. This system is cool, but to show you just how cool it is, let's roll some video.
It's pretty basic. You just load the motorcycle right into this wheel chock. You got to get it lined up appropriately. And there you go. Not touching it. All right, I just basically strapped down these 2 ratchet straps with some tension on them. And then she's gonna be good to go. And up we come. There's 2 speeds to the drill. You can definitely use the high speed until you get up probably to the lever point at which it cantilevers over, and you'll see what that happens. Now you'll notice that my clearance on this door is very tight. So and sometimes I have to realign it slightly to get it through, but we're gonna see. And now as it gets to the top here, the force of this, which basically runs on what looks to be like sort of like a seatbelt, is now going to tilt down. There we go. And this is where I see if my bark busters are aligned with the door. And it looks like they are pretty close. Yep, there they go. And then all you gotta do is in she comes. And that's it. So basically unloading on this thing, I timed it, it took about 56 seconds to get it on board and about the same to get it off. So when you're planning on using something, if it takes too long, you're not gonna do it.
Thank you so much to all my build partners involved in Project Baobab. This would not have happened without you. And you'll be hearing a lot more about their products and services coming up in this series. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. And did you know you can join for as low as $5 a month for exclusive behind the scenes Drive the Globe content? Thanks for joining me today. I really hope that you liked this video. And if you did, give a big thumbs up. Please subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.